Good evening, Professor. I'm doing my persuasive speech on sunscreens, and this is my audience, Anna, Jackie, Junior, Alan, and Maria. So many people wonder why it is very important to wear sunscreen. Sunscreen is now a very essential component to our everyday lives. Years ago, we did not know the long-term effects caused by excessive sun exposure, and now we are dealing with the consequences. Sunscreens work by absorbing, scattering, and reflecting the sun rays on the skin. All are labeled with SPF. The higher the SPF number, the greater the skin protection. Sun exposure is irreversible damage to the skin, and this is why you need to be wearing a sunscreen. So, sun protection at any age is important to prevent long-term and short-term damage. Overexposure can result in painful red sunburned skin. A bad burn can cause serious consequences like skin cancer later in life. Long-term exposure can cause wrinkles, frecklings, and age spots to the skin, and changes in the texture which makes us look older. If sun protection is used properly, it can decrease your risks for these problems. So, these are some charts that show the difference between UVA and UVB rays and how it affects the skin. Okay? So another thing that we are not aware of is that sun produces both visible and invisible rays. The invisible rays are known as ultraviolet A rays, UVA rays, and ultraviolet B, UVB rays. These cause most of the skin problems. Both cause the skin to tan and to burn, and result in sun damage, and this is why it is also important to be wearing a sunblock of at least an SPF 30. A lot of people don't realize the importance about reapplying sunblock. Sunblock should be applied every 3 to 4 hours when in sun for multiple hours, and every 2 hours when you're in the water. After a few hours of being exposed, the blockers that protect you against the sun no longer are working, and so they're not providing adequate protection. Sunscreen should be applied 20 to 30 minutes prior to your sun exposure because your skin needs time to absorb it to protect you properly. And so, let's see. Sun exposure can accelerate your aging process. Using sunscreen can protect you and reduce your risk of aging faster. The UVA rays that come from the sun are the ones that age us. They travel deep into the skin where the collagen is produced and start to break it down. The breakdown results in wrinkles, dark spots, and I strongly recommend an SPF 30 be used on a daily basis to minimize this type of sun damage. There are several different types of protection available. The types you need varies depending on the type of exposure and the skin type. A person who's going to the store or to work on a daily basis only requires an SPF of 15. However, somebody going to the pool or to the beach may need something larger, such as an SPF 30 or higher. These are some pictures of overexposed sun, and as a result, they have wrinkles and age spots. Okay. Okay, you can reduce your risk for skin cancer. Skin cancer is the most common cancer in the United States today. More than 1 million cases are diagnosed each year. Overexposure to the sunlight, including tanning, is the main cause of cancer, especially when it results in sunburns and blistering. Fair-skinned people who burn more easily are more particularly at high risk for skin cancer. Chronic sun exposure causes the skin cells to change in size, shape, and the way that they produce. This can result in skin cancers such as basal cells, squamous cells, and melanoma. These are some pictures of a basal cell carcinoma, melanoma, and squamous cell. Okay? We'll take a look at those. So as I have spoken to you about the need to wear sunscreen, you now know the benefits you gain by wearing it. Sun exposure can cause irreversible damage to the skin, amongst other things. It is very important that you wear sunscreen on a daily basis to reduce your risk. Even if you already have sun damage to your skin, you can protect yourself against further damage. It is never too late to start wearing sunblock. Okay? That concludes my speech. We're done.
It's making Spanish,